So I recently just finished the debate, Does God Exist?, between Matt Dillahunty and Michael Egnor. At the end, there was a really big tell from Dr. Michael Egnor. And I just thought I would want to explore that tell a little bit in this, about where he's coming from with his beliefs. I think it just came through in his conclusion. So let's check it out.
Sure. When I converted to Christianity, I had a secret fear. It was kind of a secret fear. And my secret fear was that atheism had the best arguments, and that if I was to believe in God, which I felt rather intensely was true, I would have to insulate myself to some extent.
To me, a rationally consistent person would just go wherever the arguments take you. So if the arguments take you to one thing, you would go to that. If the arguments take you to another thing, then you would change your mind and move to that. That seems like the most logically and rationally consistent way to do things. But he says here that he was worried that if he switched to Catholicism, that the arguments wouldn't line up with his belief system, and that he would have to insulate, he would have to hide from those arguments.
From the logical and empirical arguments about God's existence. So I began reading on that. I read Atheists, I read Christians, I watched debates, and I was astonished, and I must admit, still kind of astonished at the gibberish that is the content of atheist arguments. In my view, atheism is not really an argument. It's just a kind of ignorance. It's not even wrong.
From what I can tell, I could be wrong, but he decided to become a Catholic. And then when he investigated the arguments, he noticed that the arguments were lacking. And what a surprise, right? Because he's already chosen a belief system. And then now he's like, oh, well, now I've chosen. Now I'm going to look at the arguments and they don't make sense. So I like to refer to it as a sportsman belief system, a sports belief system. And that is, you choose a team, and once you've chosen a team, you go for that team. If they're losing, you're going for that team. If they're winning, you're celebrating even harder. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. It doesn't matter how good that team is. He's going for his team regardless. And every time there's a bad pass, it's the ref's fault. Every time that something doesn't line up, it's it was a bad pass, or the other team was cheating or something. And no matter what happens, the other team is the problem, not your team. And it's because you've chosen a belief system, and then you've then gone looking for the evidence after the fact, not followed the evidence where it may lead.
That is that atheists don't understand the arguments for the existence of God.
Okay, can you explain your arguments, please? If we don't understand them, explain it.
With anything that approaches rigor.
You can see it here, Matt Dillahunty's just smiling because he's like, oh, what is going on? And this is how I found this debate, by the way. I was on Twitter, I saw Matt typed in wow, and I was like, it wasn't in reference to anything. So I went to YouTube and I typed in Matt Dillahunty, and sure enough, it was straight after the debate had been live streamed. So I clicked on it, I was like, this is going to be a good one.
To say atheism really isn't even wrong. And the term gibberish, I mean in full force. That
he's approaching it as if atheism is a belief system. It's not. It's a lack of belief system. But he's saying it's gibberish, and from his perspective, he's completely right. It would be gibberish, but that's only if you've already presupposed all your belief systems.
That generally, when you pin an atheist, they start spewing gibberish. They start dancing around subjects. They bring in all kinds of nonsense, rather than address the actual issues. If you believe that everything came from nothing for no reason, you're crazy.
Okay, so that's the old where do we come from? And once again, he's showing his bias again, right? Because you can so clearly see that he really wanted to know where we came from, and he chose his belief in Catholicism. And it's just so clear when you look at it from that perspective. So hang on, what did he say again?
If you believe that everything came from nothing for no reason, you're crazy.
We don't know where things came from, or if they came from, or whatever. We don't understand any of that stuff. And I understand that this makes you uncomfortable, and that we don't know our place in the cosmos, but that is not an argument to then go, therefore this one makes me feel comfortable, jump over to that. That doesn't really work. If I can rephrase your exact argument for God. If you believe God came into existence from nothing, you're crazy. Or if you believe God just existed for no reason, you're crazy. I mean, That's also just as stupid. A universe without a creator is just as absurd as a creator without a creator. We don't know the answer, but it doesn't mean you can make up stuff and just jump onto whatever feels good. That's not how rationality and logic work. And I just love the end of this. It's just a lull, and then...
Okay, then. Well, I think that's...
It's like, I think we all just wasted our time here. Anyway, thanks for checking out the channel, guys. If you like these videos, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.